Recruiting does not stop for Notre Dame as the team preps for the biggest game of the season. The coaching staff is hitting up recruits in all corners of the country. Why? Because recruiting never stops. So we got Mike Singer from BlueGold.com on this video, and we're going to break it all down. But first, Irish fans, do me a favor. Exciting times. Hit subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. All right, let's bring in Mike Singer. Mike, coaches are prepping, but they're also recruiting. So because January is a contact period, Notre Dame is taking full advantage of it. They're out there, they're hitting the road. So before we get into some of the biggest names that they're visiting, just what's been the general reaction from top recruits on Notre Dame's season?
Yeah, they're absolutely fired up, and that's something they've been talking about with On3 Steve Wiltfong. And they're fired up, right? But I think there's the immediate impact of these 2026 recruits thinking differently about Notre Dame and putting them
For
up
sure.
there with your top programs, those tier one programs. Now Notre Dame is elevated up there because the recruits are seeing them win on the field, beating Georgia, beating Penn State, to have a chance to play in the national title game. And then I think the long-term ramifications for this, you're going to have kids growing who are growing up saying, oh yeah, like I watched Notre Dame like winning national or potentially winning national
Yeah.
championships. Like I think that this is just going to have a long-term ripple effect. Like it might be, a little too much for me to say that right now, maybe,
It
but
will. It
I
definitely
think,
will.
yeah, that's the thought right now, that this is going to have a long-term impact.
Yeah, I mean, think about some of the impressionable 15, 16-year-olds that are watching this as freshmen or sophomores in high school. I mean, they're gonna hit their recruiting process saying, "I want to visit Notre Dame. I want to meet Marcus Freeman," and that's when they're going to really reap the benefits from 2026 and beyond. Is when recruiting fans can start to see some of this success on the field translate to recruiting. So that being said, where are the coaches and who are some of the big names they're trying to see?
Coaches are in South Bend, but what's interesting is they got a waiver from the NCAA for a bunch of the recruiting
Right.
staff to go out on the road. So the week of the Penn State game, you had guys who not even are necessarily in the football offices full time still go out on the road for recruiting for Notre Dame.
It's
So
great.
Thursday and Friday of this week, mostly in Texas and Florida. Friday will be in Pennsylvania. So you got Kobe Clapper, director of recruiting. Caleb Davis is seeing him, top 2026 prospect on Notre Dame's board at the linebacker spot. Tank King is another linebacker, four-star from Texas, who general manager Chad Bowden is seeing Thursday. And Friday is a really big day. A lot of the recruiting office is going to be in Pennsylvania to visit with Joey O'Brien, an elite athlete who could play receiver, corner, or safety at the next level. Joey O'Brien, definitely a top of the board target for the Irish in 26.
All right. So when is Notre Dame's first big junior day? Because we're starting to hear Miami has one this weekend. Texas A&M had a big one last weekend. So Notre Dame, when do you think their first junior day will be? And also, do you get a sense that this year's turnout is going to be different because of the on-field successes?
So their junior day is 5 days after the national championship game. So not really any rest for the coaching
None.
staff and the recruiting office. So yeah, it's pretty big. We've been confirming a lot of names at Blue and Gold,
Yeah.
many of whom have been this has been scheduled for them 3-4 weeks in
Right.
advance. So I don't know if, they're in the national title game, let's now visit for that. I don't know if that's having any direct impact. But again, it is going to be a big weekend for the Fighting Irish. Yeah, like I said, we've been reporting about this at Blue and Gold. Kenny Ogboko is going to visit, the number 6 offensive tackle in the 2026 class, an absolutely massive target for the Fighting Irish. 5 of the 6 commits. Simeon Caldwell from Jacksonville, a big-time linebacker slash safety prospect. Kenneth Goodwin, a linebacker from the West Coast. Again, you got defensive lineman Tiki Halla is a big one for Notre Dame, who they're also seeing on the road this week. He's from Texas. A lot of big targets for the Irish in 26 coming to campus this weekend.
All right, let's wrap this up.
Next weekend. Sorry, next weekend.
Yeah, talk to Irish fans. What is the most important positions of need for Notre Dame in this 2026 cycle?
I feel like this question, since I've been covering recruiting, and Josh, you've known me for this entire time that I've been covering recruiting. I've known you since I was a teenager doing this job. That question has changed Like, because now you can go into the portal and you can meet needs quickly. So for me, it's more about to answer that question, what position is just do you not recruit great at?
Right.
Like
And
what
every
is that for
program
Notre Dame?
has that position that they just can't recruit very well. Everybody
And
does.
for Notre Dame, it's wide receiver. They have landed nice pieces
Mhm.
at wide receiver, but that's always my answer to that question for Notre Dame. For a while, it was corner and quarterback. I think Notre Dame has started to solve those two problems. Notre Dame's defensive backfield is incredible. The quarterback recruiting has taken an uptick under Gino Guidugli, but receiver is still a spot that Notre Dame struggles to land their top of the board guys. So, I mean, they've done well in the portal at receiver, I would say, for the 2025 season.
Mhm.
But high school recruiting for wide receiver needs to go from, oh, yeah, it's good to great.
Yeah. All right, Notre Dame fans, talk to us. How are you guys feeling about this 2026 cycle? But more importantly, drop your score predictions in the comments section below for Monday night.